Congress have now signed on to a letter that'll go to the director of the ATF, expressing serious concern over a new proposal to ban certain kind of ammunition for a variety of firearms. Representative Bob Goodlatte, chairman of the House Judiciary Committee and author of that letter, joins us. Mr. Chairman, good to see you.
Good to see you, Shannon.
Okay, so the ATF is citing back to an old law that says certain kinds of ammunition can't be used because the worry is about it being used on law enforcement officers, but there are exceptions to that law. You can apply for an exception, and a number of things have been accepted. That may go away in certain cases. Why should we be worried?
Well, we should be worried because the Second Amendment protects the rights of law-abiding citizens to own firearms, and the AR-15 is the most popular sporting rifle. More than 5 million Americans own them. Hundreds of thousands are sold every year, and the president has tried to ban this rifle. The Congress has refused, and now it appears that he's taking his pen and his cell phone and through the ATF is trying to ban the second most popular ammunition that is used in that rifle, and they're doing it in a way that appears to violate the Administrative Procedures Act. They're not doing it out in the open in a public process. So we're concerned, and we have a excuse me, bipartisan letter that we will be sending to the administration early next week, and we expect to have way more than 100 signatories to it before it goes to the administration, calling into question what they're doing, and pointing out that this is infringing on the rights of law-abiding citizens and not going to have an effect on criminals. In fact, the FBI reports that this bullet has not been used in a handgun, which is the claim, to kill any law enforcement agents in over 10 years. So we think that it's really targeted at gun control and not at protecting law enforcement and protecting the rights of law-abiding gun owners.
And the White House seemed to say that this is more of a DOJ, ATF issue, let them handle it. Well, we did get a response from the DOJ. It said it's simply proposing and requesting public comment on a framework to enforce the law that Congress passed and to provide guidance for the industry through a transparent process for making exemption decisions. They say this is all going to go to public comment. They're not trying to hide anything and that everybody's going to have a chance to weigh in. But it sounds like your take on this is, listen, they haven't been able to get gun control and new laws and restrictions through Congress, so they're going to use an executive agency because if you ban the ammo, then maybe the gun goes away if there's no way to use it. Is that what you're suggesting?
Not only that, but the framework, the so-called framework that they're following is something that they've made up. It is not the normal process, and there is no assurance that when these public comments are made that those comments will be made public. So it's not, in our opinion, the proper way to go about doing this.
What can you do?
It's a bad idea to begin with. And they're not following the law.
What power do you, as a lawmaker and the chairman of a very important committee on the Hill, what power will you all have if the ATF decides to move ahead with this? I mean, do you envision lawsuits? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think there could be lawsuits. There could be funding limitations on the enforcement of this. Certainly, we're starting out by sending a letter, raising our concerns, asking questions about why they're doing it this way, and we certainly hope they'll respond to that. But more importantly, we hope that they will follow the law and make sure that this is a transparent process and identify a reason why this should be changed when for 30 years this bullet has been acceptable on the market, and we are not aware of evidence that shows a justification for taking this off of the market when it is so popular and used by so many law-abiding American citizens.
Well, there are those out there, including those who have supported the president, Professor Jonathan Turley, that has been on this program many times. I'm sure you know him as well, who said basically these federal agencies are becoming a fourth branch that was never intended in the Constitution, and they certainly have a lot of power. So it's good that folks like you and your bipartisan group keep an eye on them. So keep us updated, Mr. Chairman.
Well, thank you, and we will, Shannon.
Thanks.